The BMW M2 F87 is the car I switched to after the i30N. In my opinion, it is the last uncompromising option where you have the spacious trunk and 4 seats, but in the coupe form factor. However, I faced a dilemma that I would like to discuss in this video.
It has a wide body, so you definitely will not confuse it with the regular 2 Series. It looks aggressive from front to back. It attracts some attention, especially in this long peach blue color. It is kind of a mainstream car and it's very popular in social media, so people are very familiar with it. It is on the level where it is not something rare and unique, because it is based on a usual 2 Series BMW, but anyway it feels special for me. I really think it could be a classic car one day. Overall, it is pretty simple, but very well thought out to the last detail. Everything looks just good and not distracting your eyes. Main things in the cabin are fine: chubby leather steering wheel with aluminium parts, beautiful gearbox selector and door handle with carbon fiber, but everything else, like the central console, will look awful just after several accidental contacts with the keys or other solid objects. Seats are comfortable and have really wide abilities of adjustment. I'm lucky to have mechanical seats as they can be settled lower and weigh less. But for racetrack driving, just get some proper recovery pole positions. I'm not joking, while actively driving, I'm mostly tired while trying to keep myself in the seat.
Soundproofing will not let you fully hear exhaust. They even managed to add artificial sound from the speakers,
which is hopefully easy to reprogram through BimLink, for example.
Whoa! That's a huge difference!
That's massive, yeah.
But from the other hand, it is not so quiet on the high speeds on the autobahns, so I'm just using headphones with noise cancellation.
Dashboard is gorgeous. Nothing fancy, just a functional speedometer where I can clearly see the 0 to 100 range, which I care about the most, and a tachometer which you can literally fully use. I love those old-style classic analog dashboard. In the facelift model it is wide, which is not so comfortable for night driving, and also flickering. It's a shame that in the pre-facelift model you can only see the calculated average of water and oil. Fortunately, you can access the service menu to monitor real-time oil temperature, which is especially useful when driving on the racetrack.
But trust me, you have absolutely nothing to worry about until you're using stock ECU and not doing some serious competition driving.
I have driven on a small track for 2 hours with short stops to change drivers, and the temperature was always in the range of from 100 to 110 degrees.
Starting from the F-Series BMW, you're finally getting those proper float discs with 4 pistons in the front and 2 in the back.
I have upgraded the brakes with Endless MX72 Plus brake pads, and they are perfect for mountain roads and even occasional track days. They only require a few brake applications after a cold start to reach their optimal working temperature. Comparing to stock pads, they produce less dust on the wheels. However, since they provide more friction than the stock pads, my leg tends to get tired from gently pressing the brake pedal after a long city drive. I have optional performance titanium exhaust. First, when I saw pictures of the remote control, it looked like AliExpress stuff to me, but in reality the materials are good and overall BMW performance parts are nice. This exhaust has race-only mode, which is not legal for public roads. That's why to turn it on you need to press the button in the trunk first, then use remote control. It is actually getting straight pipe exhaust after this, so it is really loud. But to be honest, I have opened the flaps only a few times because I don't like to disturb people. Suspension in OG-M2 is passive and non-adjustable. It is stiff, gives you some sort of pleasant drive and works well on high speeds. You can face issues only with high loads like attacking hill climb or on the racetrack. In the end, you are getting decent suspension from the factory. OG-M2 weighs about 1.6 tons, and you can feel it, of course. This is one of few downsides of this car. It is not that bad, just sometimes you feel that excessive inertia.
The M2 wheelbase is 12 centimeters shorter than M4, and this is crucial thing. And this was the main factor why I have chosen this one over the M4.
M4 feels more stable and lazy, but M2 is more twitchy and playful. When you drive an M2 on the limit, you just feel how the rear axle tends to rotate the car. This is a really delicate balance and a working solution to the problem of a heavier front axle. But it could be a bit scary for an inexperienced driver. It is such a joy and pleasure to feel the balance of the car. M2's homeland is a mountain road or a racetrack where you can experience all its capabilities.
But in a city, this car feels out of place and you just will never understand what this car is all about. Launch control is, to be honest, completely useless thing.
The only purpose of it is to set 0 to 100 time. But in real life, I just can't imagine a situation where I need it. I have used it a few times just to understand how it works. It is really good. I have averaged about 12 liters per 100 kilometers. It was highway, mountains and city driving. It could easily do about 8-9 liters per 100 if you drive around 120-140 on the highway. But the fuel tank is small, unfortunately, only 52 liters. It feels like if it will have just extra 10 liters, it will be the sweet spot. But where I'm living, it is not a big deal as gas stations are just everywhere. I have tried to find a car with a manual transmission, but it was a tough task. So I have decided to buy a model with DCT. It has huge advantages for track use and low fuel consumption because of 7 gears, but parking and slow driving in the city is very uncomfortable. Starting to move smoothly is really tricky, but I'm using a technique where I'm tapping the gas aggressively first, waiting for a clutch, and then I can drive smoothly. With stopping it is the same situation. Because of engine braking, it is almost impossible to brake without a front-end dive. So, if you have a tight parking situation, it is a really big pain. You need to use both pedals at the same time to prevent jerks.
For a weekend car, I will definitely choose the manual transmission over the DCT. Unfortunately, it is so hard to find them, but for racetrack use, DCT is just unbeatable perfection.
The trunk is very spacious. It can easily fit suitcases and other stuff for 4 people. And rear seats themselves are fully functional and will accommodate 2 people with good space for legs and armrest. Incredibly good result for a sports car. It feels very comfortable in all aspects. Seats, pedals, dashboard, mirrors, multimedia, just every aspect feels very well designed. For example, auto high beam lights will not just turn on and off, but will illuminate the roadside and cut out oncoming cars. Even in this OG M2 with usual xenon lenses. You have incredibly good visibility in the car, mirrors are perfect, you can see a rear wheel on the passenger side, cruise control shows you the speed at which you're going and you can quickly adjust it in 10 kilometers increments. So overall the car is simple but very functional and comfortable. Rear diff has electronically managed locking mechanism that defines when to lock rear diff based on the sensors and other stuff. So what does it mean for you as a driver? It locks the rear axle effectively, but the moment of locking is not as transparent as on the mechanical LSD. It just grabs. On the other hand, such a modern system prevents excessive tire wear and helps the car to have better maneuverability at slow speeds. Even though the engine is N55, but it has a special modification, T0, that includes some crucial changes compared to a usual N55. Most important are, it enables a secure oil supply up to constant 1.2 G, has special coolant solutions such as oil-air heat exchanger. The main thing here is you can literally go to a racetrack without any modifications. Power delivery is pretty smooth, considering short gears on DCT, you always have torque under your foot. In the real world, power is more than enough if you are not racing. In terms of reliability, it had one issue that is very common for all N55 engines. The charge pipe broke, so I have changed it for an aluminum aftermarket one, although the engine is completely stock without any tuning.
Except that I have done 13,000 kilometers with 0 issues.
In OG M2 you have predefined modes. In comfort mode the gas pedal is non-linear and has progressive curve, plus the gearbox program tends to shift higher gears. It is comfortable to use in the city. I am using it mostly for casual and highway driving. Sport mode has a linear pedal, faster but moderate gear changes, plus loud exhaust. Sport Plus mode is simply useless. Pedal turns into on-off button. Steering becomes extra heavy. I am never using it. The most appropriate modes are traction or DC off, as the car behaves more naturally in these settings, which I personally prefer. My main mistake was the choice of tires. I bought Sport Contact 7, and the problem is that they are incredibly sticky. On one hand, it is almost impossible to drift on a dry road, especially with the DCT, as you don't have a clutch. On the other hand, they wear out after just one good track day. I definitely should have chosen something else.
I love cars, interesting cars. There are so many of them, and especially I love to drive fast, to drive the car on the limit. For me personally, it is the most exciting feeling in my life. That's why I'm so frustrated with the M2, because it is so fast for the city where I'm living. I just can't hold the gas pedal more than 5 seconds. So to get some exciting emotions, you need to go to the racetrack or at least to the mountains. Anyway, this car is just awesome for this money, and it is really hard task to get any new emotions after this. I like this car so much. Should I really sell it?
To gain something new, you must let go of all the old.
Do you think I need to take the risk?
Remember it all this time.